Hey folks, welcome back to Modern Day Money. My name is Carlo, and in this video we're going to be talking about lifestyle inflation. The first thing you need to know about lifestyle inflation is that it only gets to you if you don't hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Okay, but seriously now. What's the first thing you do when you get a raise at work? Celebrate with a nice dinner? Buy yourself that watch or handbag you've been eyeing for a while? Upgrade your car? If you answered yes to any of the above, then you may be falling for lifestyle inflation. If you've been learning about personal finance, then you've undoubtedly come across the term lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. It's a very common phenomenon that the vast majority of people practice without even knowing it. In simple terms, it's the act of increasing your spending habits as you increase your income. Now, don't get me wrong, I fully support celebrating your achievements, as long as they are financially reasonable. A nice dinner won't break the bank, and a nice memento piece shouldn't either. But if you're celebrating a $10,000 raise or bonus, don't go out and spend half of it all at once. This is just general budgeting advice, to be honest, and not really the main point of this post. What we're really going to talk about here is the actual lifestyle inflation phenomenon. Let's say you make $60,000 a year, and you have a very decently balanced budget. You save a good amount, your rent isn't too high, you cook your own food at home, and you only go out once or twice a week without going too wild. You have a good year at work and you get a promotion and a raise to $70,000 a year. If you're a student of personal finance, you will know the best course of action is take that extra $10,000 and put it right into your investment account. You pretend it doesn't exist. However, if you're not in the world of personal finance, you may not necessarily buy anything big, but now you start eating out a little bit more often. Maybe you go out, 3 or 4 times a week. You may even do the unthinkable and get a new expensive car. All of this is in the mindset of, I can afford it now because now I have more money. This is lifestyle inflation. You now make more money, so you justify spending more money. And you may even further think it's okay because you're still saving money. Now, you may be thinking, YOLO, enjoy life while you can, because who wants to have money when they're 65 and you can't really enjoy it? I am by no means saying you need to live like a hermit and save everything for some future version of yourself to enjoy. But the problem with this mindset is that lifestyle inflation can literally go on forever. There is no amount of money that can't be spent. Even at the multi-millionaire level, you can be susceptible to lifestyle inflation. You may think that you're going to be satisfied when you're making, let's say, $100,000 a year and can afford the dream home with a nice Mercedes in the driveway and a Caribbean vacation every year. Except you'll get to $100,000 and then you'll want an even nicer home and 2 vacations every year and an even nicer Mercedes in the driveway. You get my drift. The other downside to lifestyle inflation isn't just that you won't be saving as much either, but that none of the extra things you are spending your money on are really likely to make you any happier. The Hedonic Treadmill goes hand in hand with lifestyle inflation. It's another social phenomenon that states that whatever your level of life is, you'll get accustomed to, and that becomes the new normal. So by ever increasing our spending, we're not necessarily any happier by doing so. Upgrading your car to a new one will certainly be an inflation of your lifestyle, but it is unlikely to make you any happier. Lifestyle inflation can often be influenced by your peers and social media. Keeping up with the Joneses is all too easy to keep increasing your income. Your friends just went on a trip to Europe, so why shouldn't you? You can afford it, you just got a raise. But are you just doing it to keep up with the spending of your social circles, or are you doing it because you really want to? This doesn't just apply to vacations, but to all the different expenses in your life. In the FIRE world, we're always looking ahead. Save now, enjoy later. So let's take a look at some numbers and see just how much we're going to be better off by saving our money now. From the previous numbers, let's say you're making $60,000 a year. And these will obviously be rough numbers depending on your state taxes, where you live, etc. $60,000 a year post-tax is roughly $3,700 a month. I live in Chicago, so these are based on Illinois and Chicago taxes. Your rent is probably somewhere between $1,000 and $1,300 a month. Let's say about $400 on food, $400 on travel and your car expenses, and probably another average of $400 a month on various expenses kind of throughout the year. Again, these numbers are just for the sake of example. I know everyone's expenses will differ. That leaves you about $1,200 each month to invest your money. That equals $16,800 a year in investments. I'm going to use data from payscale.com for a project manager in Chicago. Completely random, and I'm just using median numbers for the sake of simplicity. Within 10 years, you are able to increase your income to $100,000 a month. And after that, you average a modest 3% raise for the rest of your career. That quick increase early on is when you can make the biggest impact to your financial future because of the magic of compound interest. $60K to $100K in 10 years is the equivalent of a 5.2% raise each year. If you could succumb to lifestyle creep, you will continue to invest $1,200 a month each month for the rest of your career. After 30 years, you'll have about $1.6 million. Not bad, but keep in mind inflation makes that number much less valuable than it really seems. On the other hand, if you don't succumb to lifestyle creep and you invest all of your increased income in the first 10 years and then 2 out of the 3% afterwards, because you will most likely have more expenses later in life, after 30 years of investing, you'll have $2.2 million in your retirement account. That $600,000 difference is about actually 37.5%. It would take you another 4 years of work to make up that difference. In both these scenarios, there's a decent amount of saving going on. It would be obviously a much more extreme example if you were going to be saving almost nothing compared to saving a lot, but I don't think that's very indicative of the lifestyle inflation issue, but rather a budgeting or spending issue. These numbers were also taken as median values. It's entirely possible to earn much more money, in which case the numbers would be even more severe of a difference. You could potentially retire 7 to 10 years earlier if you moved up in your career faster and were well compensated. Ultimately, it will be a personal choice as to how much lifestyle inflation you will allow in your own life. Some people may value the extra vacation every year, and others may want retirement to come as soon as possible. And that's the beauty of personal finance. For me personally, I think it's important to figure out what things you truly value in life and make you happy, and then allocate money towards that while still keeping your budget balanced so you can retire early and still live a fulfilling life. So there you have it, lifestyle inflation. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe button for plenty more videos to come. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll get to them as best I can. And until next time, see ya!